Another easy and important case is one where this edge needs to be reoriented and turned over here, and this edge needs to be reoriented and permuted down here. And you solve this with R, F, R prime. I have been asked to do a video of example cross solves, and so I have some scrambles here, and I will scramble the cube and tell you how I do the cross in the most advanced way I can. Now I'm going to be scrambling this cube with the yellow face on top and the blue face in the front. So if you want to follow the scrambles, which I'll put in the video and in the annotation, and in the description, then you can scramble the right way and see the colors and everything. On this first scramble, I would go with the orange side, because as you can see here, you have this one right here, and this one right here, as well as this one on the bottom. Now these two you can easily put in like that, and they'll be next to each other. However, since this one is already right here, didn't want to slide it over to yellow because this is on green, or this blue one is on green, this yellow one is on white, and this white one is now on yellow instead of on green. So they're all on their opposing colors, which means that when you rotate the D face at the end, they will all be permuted correctly. So just slide that down and pull that down, and you've got 3 of your edges completed. Now you have this one, and it's pretty simple to put it in. And you have your cross. On this next scramble, I think I would choose the yellow side, because you have these 2 edges up here opposed to it, which can easily be flipped down. And you have this one right here, which is already in the right side layer, it just needs to be flipped down here. Now, we have this edge on the bottom that is misoriented. That won't do us any good. We can't turn it around and it be in place. So what you want to do is move it so that when you move this red-yellow edge down, it flips it up right here. So then, when you go to move this blue piece down, you can easily slide that out of there. So now at this point you have 2 edges on the bottom, and it's a simple matter to flip those 2 down. On this scramble, I would easily pick the yellow layer, because you already have 3 on the bottom, 3 edges on the bottom, and 2 of them are already permuted. So in this case, I would just flip down the orange, which misplaces the green, move the green into place, and flip that down, which is only 4 moves. On this solve, I would pick green, because you have 2 edges oriented on the right side, one on the opposite side, and one that's pretty close to being able to flip in. And it's a very good thing when you have one that just needs to be flipped up if it's on its own color side or on the opposite color side. Because when it's on the opposite color side, you can flip it over with an L2, and it'll be right here. However, since this piece is not permuted correctly, I'm not going to flip this up yet. Because what I'm going to do is hide this already permuted piece with the unpermuted one, and I'll do a U prime. And what that does is put both the red and the white, the red and the white in the correct place. Now if I had moved the orange up, then the orange would now be out of place. However, since I did not do that, then it's just an F and they're all in place. On this scramble, I would pick the white side for almost the same reason as last time. You have 2 pieces, we have 3 pieces oriented on the top layer, 1 oriented on the opposite layer, and 2 of them on the top layer are relatively permuted, which means that you could just do U's and they would both be permuted. This one, however, could not. So I'm going to use basically the same technique as last time, where I replace the one that needs to be moved with one that also needs to be moved. Then do a U, or in this case U prime, replace it, and there. We have a cross. For this scramble, I would pick red as my cross color, because we have two edges on this side, relatively permuted. We have one edge on the top side oriented, and it's attached to its opposite color, and we have one red piece right here attached to its opposite color. So from here, we would just do a little u prime or a d prime, whichever you prefer, and we would merely flip those two down to put them in place, and then do a u2 or a d2, and you have your cross. For this scramble, I would pick green as my cross side. This is a very complicated case though, because you have one piece right here that's on its opposite color. You have two pieces oriented on the opposite side, one of which is on its same color, and you have one right here which is not on any color of any significance. So what you'll probably want to do, or what I would do at least, is first move down the red piece, and then move down the yellow piece right here. Because by doing that, you now have two relatively permuted pieces. And you also have, when you flipped down this yellow piece, you moved the white one over to the yellow side, and you kind of kept the orange in the same place. So now both of these are on their opposite centers. So you do a little u prime, move that one down, move that one down, and do a little u2, and it's solved. For this scramble, I would pick blue as my cross piece. For this solve, I would pick blue as my cross color, because we have two relatively permuted edges. We have one edge over here that can be easily flipped up, and this one right here. Now, while this doesn't look like it's in a very easy position, all you have to do is an F prime, and it is now on the same layer as this yellow one. And if you look over here, you can see that the opposite color from right here, where this will be permuted, is red. And since orange is opposite red, you just have to do an R, and it's in the right spot. So then you do a U prime R2, and you have your cross after a simple U2. For this scramble, I would pick white as my cross color, because we have two colors, or two edges on the opposite side, oriented and connected to their correct center, and we have two oriented on the white side. But since they are now relatively permuted, then we have to hide this green, do U, and unhide it, because that will leave us with them relatively permuted. And you just need to figure that out by yourself. So hide the green, and move it so that the red's over here, kind of like that, or something. And then move these two down, F2, R2, and you've got your cross.